students. Today, now really we are going to start accountancy because today's topic is terminology of accounting. Up to any level, if you are studying accountancy, this all the things are must be required because this is the terminology which are used in accountancy, and that is our goal. Now today's lecture is really starting of accounting because up to today's lecture what we have done, what is accounting, characteristics, qualitative characteristics, importance, who are the users, why we are preparing accounts, this all the things we have done. But now how accounting is prepared, how accounting is done, that we are going to do today. But for that what we have a knowledge about terminology of accounting. So here 14 terminologies are written, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. But this whole lecture covers minimum 35 terminologies. So we are starting with first terminology. First is business transactions. What is meant by business transaction? First we need to clear it. So business transaction, we know whatever transactions made in business is business transaction. That's it. Yes, definitely. All of you are right. Transactions done in business is called business transaction. But here somewhat extra things are given. In good language, here given exchange of product and service. Exchange of product and service for cash or credit is called business transaction. Simple language and professional language. Exchange of product or service. What I am exchanging now? Service. I am giving you knowledge, nothing else. Can you see knowledge? Simple, no sir. Then what I am giving you? Giving you knowledge. What I am getting? Money. So exchange of goods or service for what? Cash. Maybe you are giving me fees later. Transaction is credit. Suppose you are today giving me a money, then cash transaction. If you are promising to pay in future, then credit transaction today, because you will pay me money in future, not now. So what I am giving you? Service. Giving you service. What I am getting? Cash, or will get in future cash. Simple. So what is business transaction? Exchange of product or service. Now service is clear. Now the product, all of you know, you are going in canteen and purchasing any packets, then that is the goods. Purchasing goods. Businessman selling goods and getting cash. Simple. Suppose you are promised to pay in future. Purchasing today, promise for future to pay, then it's a credit transaction. But first terminology is what? What is business transaction? So business transaction is a transaction which is done for exchange of product or goods against cash or promise to pay in future. Simple one. So this is my first business transaction terminology. Completed. In textbook, this all the things are given in detail that you have to read from your textbook. Here, in short, it is given for explanation. Going ahead, second number. So second is event. Second is event. What is event? So what is event? That I need to understand. Event managers are there. they are managing event, marriage event, simple. Another event, birthday party, annual function event. These are the different events. But here we are talking about accounting. That's why accounting events. Which are the accounting events? So try to understand very carefully what is meant by event. Situations or results. I am repeating. Situation or results created from transaction. Situation created, result created from transaction. Which transaction? Business transaction is called event. So result is called event. Yes, result is called event. But from result is created from transactions. Which transactions? Business transactions. I am purchasing goods. It's a transaction. I am selling goods. It's a transaction. Both are transactions. To purchase goods, I am paying some wages. Transaction. So purchasing goods is transaction. Paying wages is expense. It's also transaction. Selling goods is transaction. So what is event? Result of these transactions is called event. So what is the result of this transaction? That we can understand by this example. Don't worry. So first, what is act? Transaction means act. What is result? Result means event. Result is of two types, profit or loss. Because in business transaction there is only two possibilities. One is profit, second is loss. That's it. So today, clear one thing. What is event? Event is a result created from transaction. So transaction means activity, purchase activity, expense activity, selling activity. After combination of this three, we are getting profit or loss. That profit or loss is called result. And result is event. In accountancy, what is event? Result of transactions is called event. That's it. So, situations or results created from transactions is called event. So, suppose I am purchasing goods of rupees 5,000, paid wages 500 rupees. So, my total expenditure, total cost of purchasing goods is 5,500 rupees. Now, this goods I am selling in 6,000 rupees. Then 500 rupees is my profit. That 500 is called event. Result of transactions made event. So in accountancy, event is this. So first is business transaction. Second is event, which is result of that transactions. Going ahead, sir, capital and drawing. What is meant by capital? What is meant by drawing? Very easy one. Easiest one is capital and drawing. So sir, tell us what is capital. So try to understand. Whatever bring by honor in the business. Whatever bring by honor in the business is called capital for business purpose. Suppose owner bring furniture in the business, so capital in form of furniture, but it is called capital. Owner bring money in the business, it is also capital. Whatever bring by owner in the business for business, then it is called capital. Going ahead, simple. If owner withdraw from the business, is called drawing. If bring, then capital. Withdraw, then drawing. Simple. So whatever bring by owner in the business is called capital. Whatever drawing done by owner is called drawing. Whatever withdrawal from the business by owner is drawing. This both the transactions are related to owner. Owner bring, then capital. Owner withdraw, then drawing. Simple. Going ahead for liability. What is liability? Sir, simple. Liability we know. Amount payable to provider. Sir, what provider? First of all, what is liability? Amount payable. I need to pay. It's my liability. Now, how liability arise? Whom I am paying? To provider. What provider? Sir, goods provider, service provider, money provider. Goods provider. Suppose I am purchasing goods but not paying money, then it is my liability to pay money. So that's why amount payable to provider of goods. Suppose I am getting service. You are getting service from me. You are teaching. You are taught by me and you are getting service of education. So you are getting education service. You have to pay me fees. So I am a provider of education and you have to pay fees in future. So amount payable to provider of service. Going ahead. Amount payable to provider of money. Suppose I need more money for investment in business and I am getting loan from financial institutions. And if I am getting loan, then that loan amount I have to pay with interest. So payable to money provider. And that's why. What is liability, sir? So liability means amount payable to provider. Provider of money, goods, service, whatever. Simple. Now, sir, liability has two types of liabilities. One is internal liability, second is external liability. Now, sir, which are the internal and which are the external liability? It is depend on relation. These both are depend on relation. Depend on relation. Now, in accounting, I want to clear one thing which is very important. Whenever you are writing accounts, then it must be in your mind. Suppose I am running my classes and name of class is Sai Krupa. Then Sai Krupa Group Tuition and Kamal sir, both are different entity. Sai Krupa Group Tuition and Kamal sir, both are different entity. Kamal sir giving money to Sai Krupa and Sai Krupa doing a service businesses. They are providing, Sai Krupa business providing services. They are getting fees from the students. And whichever capital invested by Kamal sir. So Kamal sir is different and Sai Krupa is different. That is considered in accountancy. So Sai Krupa have to pay capital amount to Kamal sir. Why? Sai Krupa has a liability to pay. Because who is a provider? Kamal sir is a provider of capital. So that capital is a liability for the business. That business have to provide back that capital amount. Even if business doing business making profit, then profit is also provided to Kamal sir. But both are different entity. That is very important one. So Kamal sir providing money and Sai Krupa has a liability to pay it back in future. Sir, both are same. Kamal sir running the business. That's why Kamal sir is, for Kamal sir, honor, it's an internal liability. Why it is internal? घर की बात है. Kamal sir, Sai Krupa, both are equal. So it's an internal liability. For Sai Krupa, payment is payable to Kamal sir. Don't worry, internal situation, internal liability. But suppose in Sai Krupa group tuition, other teachers are coming and giving services. So it's a third party. External liability. Sai Krupa related to Kamal sir is internal liability because both are generally equal. For accounting purpose, both are different. Otherwise, both are same. But third party, third teacher who is coming in the Sai Krupa for giving services, if Sai Krupa have to pay that money, and that payable is the external liability. So it is related to relation. If owner provide capital, then liability of business is internal liability. But other person provides services, then it's an external liability. So internal and external liability. Liability is of two types, internal and external. Even that is based on relation. But liability has other two types also. Current liability, non-current liability. Now sir, what is current and what is non-current? If I am touching on that liability, then current? No sir, no. Current means short term. And non-current means long-term liability. Short-term liability, long-term liability. Now the short-term means what? For routine activities. For routine activities, if that is the liability, then short-term liability. Any teacher coming to my classes and giving service, so I have to pay fees regularly, monthly basis or lectures basis. So it is a routine activity, and that routine activity is a short-term liability, current liability. But suppose I take a loan from bank for 5 years. It means I have to pay back money after 5 years. It's a long term. Now another thing also. If liability paid within 1 year, liability paid within 1 year, then within 1 year means current liability. More than 1 year, long term liability. So first is current liability, second is non-current liability. Current means within 1 year, more than 1 year means non-current. Then it is asset or liability, whatever. In both these situations, current means 1 year, non-current means more than 1 year. So current liability, short-term liability. Non-current liability, long-term liability. If liability is liability payable, amount payable within 1 year, then it's a short-term liability. It means current liability. If amount payable more than 1 year, after 1 year, that is called non-current liability. Simple. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Terminology of accounting. First, sir, business transaction we know. Event, result of transaction. Next, capital, drawing. Bring by partner, capital. Withdraw by partner, drawing by partner. Then drawing. Both are with honor. Same way liability. Amount payable to provider. What is provider? Goods, service, money provider. Two things. Internal, external. Internal means to honor. External means third party. Two types of assets. Two types of liability. Current liability, non-current liability. Current means short term and non-current means long term. Simple. Going ahead. Sir, 6th number. Assets. Assets. Ownership of business and economic value. Then is called asset. What is meant by asset? it should be of business and it has a economic value, then it's called asset. Now I want to clear, suppose Sai Kripa Group Tuition has a building, then that building is an asset. Why asset? It's the ownership of Sai Kripa and it has a value, economic value. Some value is there for building, then it's called asset. Now again, two types of asset, main two types of assets, sir. Real asset, fictitious assets. So real means real, which has a real value, economic value, then real asset. Fictitious asset means fake asset. Actually it is not an asset, but we have to write as an asset. That's why fake asset, fictitious asset. So sir, real assets, fictitious asset, cannot convert it into cash. This fictitious asset cannot be converted into cash. Economic value, we cannot receive any economic value from that. That's why it is called fictitious asset. So which type of assets are there? Which are not converted into cash, and we are writing as a, that we are discussing in detail in next lectures, not in this lecture. Now real asset, which is the real assets, so have a market value. Real asset means it has a market value. If I am selling in the market, then we are getting something, so it's called real asset. Now real asset also have two types, current and non-current, sir. Simple. Current means short term, within 1 year converted into cash is called short term asset. Same way non-current, more than 1 year required to convert it into cash. So short and long, simple. Now non-current also two types, tangible, intangible. So what is meant by tangible? Tangible, which can be seen, which can be touched. Tangible. Intangible, cannot be seen, cannot be touched. So how it's possible? We cannot see even it is our asset. Yes. Goodwill, patent, trademark, copyright, these are the asset which cannot be touched. Goodwill, ijjat, your value in the market, can you see? No. Can you touch? No, but it has a value. It has a value. So tangible, intangible. Intangible, which cannot be seen. Tangible, which can be seen. This also we are discussing later in next lectures with details. So these are the types of assets. Asset completed, sir. Going ahead, 7 number. Receipts. Sir, receipts, income, simple. Whatever we are receiving, that is receipt. Money received from business transaction, simple. Main thing is what? Business transaction. So money received from business transaction is receipts. Now receipt has also two types. Two types of receipts are there. Capital receipt, revenue receipt. Now sir, what is capital receipt and what is revenue receipt? Don't worry. Which is regularly done, then revenue. Not regularly received, capital. So money received regularly from regular transaction, purchasing and selling of goods, it is regular. So revenue. Getting interest regularly, that is also revenue. So which transactions are regularly done within the 1 year, that is revenue. And capital means long term. Suppose we are selling our furniture, we are not selling regularly furniture. If it becomes useless, then we are selling it. First we are using it for many years, then after if it becomes useless, then we are selling it. Capital receipt, at that time we are getting money, but it's a capital nature. because after long time we are selling it. Same way revenue means regular, nothing else. Going ahead. 8. Sir, payment. Receipt means receiving money. Payment means paying money. Money paid for business transaction. I can write here, payment means money paid for business. If we are paying money for business, that is called payment. Now payment also capital nature, revenue nature. Same as if we are paying regularly salary, regularly bonus, regularly commission, is called revenue expense, revenue payment. If we are not paying regularly, we are purchasing machine. Is it regularly purchased? No, sir. Once we are purchasing, using it for many years, then after it becomes useless, then new machines are installed, not regularly. So payments are done, not regularly. Simple. Now, sir, what is this? Deferred revenue expenses. Payments. This asset, fictitious asset, cannot be converted into cash. This is the deferred revenue expenses. Cannot be converted into cash. Fictitious asset, deferred revenue expenses, fictitious assets are same. So why we are writing as an asset? It's an expense which is paid for more than 1 year, and that's why it's called deferred revenue expense. Giving one example. Suppose one advertisement company come to me and tell me, if you need advertisement for 1 year, you have to pay 1 lakh rupees. So I am asking for the scheme. Suppose I am paying for 5 years, then what? So sir, we are giving discount. For 1 year, 1 lakh rupees you have to pay. It means for 5 years, 5 lakh rupees is there, but within only for 3 lakh, we are paying service for 5 years. So I get discount. If I am paying 3 lakh rupees today, then that provider of service give me service for advertisement for 5 years. If I am paying for only 1 year, then I have to pay 1 lakh. So what I am thinking, pay 3 lakh rupees. Get benefit of 5 years. Deferred revenue expense. Because this expense is not for 1 year only. Actually, it is for 5 years. So it is asset for me. It is asset for me because for 4 years also we are getting benefit. That is deferred revenue expenses. That is asset. Suppose 1 year completed, then remaining 4 years. Again 1 year completed, remaining 3 years we are getting benefit. Again 1 year completed, 2 year benefit. Again 1 year completed, 1 year benefit we need to take. And when 5 years completed, then we are not getting benefit from it. So up to 5 years it is asset, but it is reduced 1 by 1 year. So it is called deferred revenue expenses. Deferred revenue expense, which is not for 1 year. It is paid for long term. We are getting benefit for long term. Is it converted into cash? Can it convert it into cash? After 1 year, I say to company, please give my money back. They are not giving us money. They are providing only services, not giving money back. So cannot be converted into cash, and that's why it is deferred revenue expenses. Deferred revenue payments. So capital, revenue and deferred revenue expenses. Going ahead, line numbers are expense. What is meant by expense? So benefit received for 12 years and for that we are paying money is called expense. 12 years, within the year, benefit received and we are giving money. So sir, what about this? Suppose for 5 years I had paid 3 lakh rupees. So 3 lakh divided by 5. 1 year expense, 12 month expense. So 3 lakh divided by 5. So 60,000. 60,000 rupees is 1 year expense. So it is my expense. 60,000 is my expense for the year. Total paid amount is what? 3 lakh rupees. But expense is what? Only 60,000, because remaining benefit I have to take in next years. So expense means for the 12 month, whatever paid or payable. Even payable is there, we have to pay. That is my liability for 12 month only. Then it is called expense. Same way revenue also within 12 month. Suppose I received within 12 month, then it is my revenue. If receivable also, suppose somebody promised me to pay, but it is for this year only, then also receivable. If you are paying me fees, you have a promise, you have made a promise to me, I will pay fees. So it is for this year only, for 11th standard, and that's why 12 month income. It is considered as an income because it is receivable. So it's a revenue, expense and revenue. And if we are making difference of these two, revenue minus expenses become profit or loss. I am getting fees from you, making expenses to provide you services. So from revenue we are deducting expenses, we are getting profit or loss. So revenue minus expenses, profit or loss. Profit is also known as gain. Both are same. Gain or profit, both are same. There may be profit, may be loss. If my revenue are more, that is profit. If expenses are more, loss. So profit or loss is there. Simple. Going ahead. Purchase and sales. Most important thing. We can purchase assets also, we can purchase goods also. But this purchase and sell word is used only and only for goods. Only and only for goods. If we are purchasing goods, then we can write purchase. If we are selling goods, then we can write sales in accounting. If we are purchasing asset, then we cannot write word purchase. If we are selling asset, then we cannot write sell. So purchase and sell word is used only and only for goods. Now sir, what is goods? That is also a question. What is goods? So simple. Don't worry. Whatever I am purchasing for selling it after adding profit is called goods. What is the intention of purchase? For selling, then it's called goods. Suppose I have a furniture shop. I am purchasing furniture for selling it. Then furniture is asset for me. But suppose I have a general store and I am purchasing furniture for use it, then it is not goods for me because my intention is not selling it. My intention is to use it. Suppose I have an AC shop and AC I am purchasing for selling it, then it is goods for me. But suppose I am purchasing AC for my shop, I am using it, then it is asset for me because my intention is not to sell it. My intention is to use it. So whatever I am purchasing for using is not goods, and whatever I am purchasing for sell it is called goods. And whenever I am purchasing goods, whenever I am selling goods, then and then only purchase and sell word is used in accountancy. And suppose some goods are not sold during the year, so it becomes stock. That is the stock for me. Simple. Because it is not sold. So whatever goods, is remaining at the end of the year, which is not sold, is called stock. So these are the words that we have to understand to write account. So whenever we want to do accounting, this all the terminologies is most important one. Now last things are receivable and payable. Receivable means I need to receive from persons, and payable I have to pay to persons. Going ahead. So receivable from debtor, bills receivable, outstanding income, prepaid expenses. Now I want to clear one thing first. Who is debtors? I am selling goods to person. That person is not paying me money today. Then he is debtor for me. Because from debtor I have to receive money. Because I sold goods to him on credit. So he is a debtor. Same way, bills receivable also one type of receivable that we will discuss in next chapters. It is also one type of receivable. It is also for debtors only. Outstanding income means income receivable that I will receive in future. Outstanding. It is already arises but not received till today. So it's a outstanding income receivable. Prepaid expense. Suppose some prepaid expense. I have paid expense for next year. Then it is prepaid expense. But benefit of that we need to receive. And that's why it is my receivable. Benefit receivable. Prepaid expense for prepaid expense. What is receivable? Benefit receivable. So it is asset. Going ahead. Payable. So here debtors. Here creditors. From whom I am purchasing goods, I have to pay money to them. So that person is creditor. I have to pay money. Bills payable. Bills receivable, same way bills payable. That is my liability. I have to pay. Outstanding income. Here outstanding expense. I have to pay money. Prepaid expense. Income received in advance. Suppose you are paying me fees in advance for whole year, and it is my liability to teach you full year, because advance received, my liability to pay. So it is also income received in advance is my payable. What is payable? Service payable or goods payable. Here receivable. What is receivable? Benefit receivable. Simple. Here benefit receivable. Here service provided. Benefit payable. Simple. So here this much terminologies are clear, but still many terminologies are not done. That we will see in next lecture. But all the terminologies are most important one. You have to learn from your textbook. Read from textbook and make notes. Bye bye. Meet you in next lecture with new terminologies.